The views expressed are solely those of the speaker and not necessarily those of Paltalk.com, AVM software, or its advertisers.
Good evening, folks. News Talk is online. News Talk Online is a production of Paltalk.com, the largest multimedia interactive program on the internet with more than 4 million unique users on demand on iTunes and on YouTube, and on Gary's blog, www.garybaumgarten.com, where you are invited to comment whether you agree with Gary or not. And thanks to our friends on CRN Digital Talk Radio, we're syndicated coast to coast across the United States to 12 million additional households. I'm your host, your guest host, Boaz Franco. Folks, good evening. Before we get to the show and the topic of the show, I have a sad announcement to make. On Wednesday, December 31st, about 9:30 in the evening, Gary Baumgarten's father passed away. And Gary, as a result, will not be in all of next week due to the traditions that have to be observed during a 7-day period of mourning. So if anybody would like to pass to Gary a condolence message, you can email him at gary@corp.paltalk.com. And if Sonny, if you could type that in the text in the room, I'll repeat it again, gary@corp.paltalk.com. And we all have our hearts with Gary, and we know that he will pull through, and that his family are in our prayers and in our hearts. Well, folks, the topic of discussion for the show today, once again, we're getting into the Middle East, getting into the latest developments of the conflict between the Hamas and the Israeli people, and some interesting developments that I want to talk about with regards to the conflict that I have never seen, at least anywhere in my time in the world, and any other conflict in the world. I could be wrong, but it is extremely unique. In the last couple of days, that I've been talking with people about the conflict that are on one or other side of the supporting arena, I was just amazed at what is going on there in the Gaza Strip, as opposed to what people are saying. That will be one subtopic of what we're going to talk about, and then we're going to go into what are the possible solutions of how to end this conflict. I'll bring up an option, and I'd like to hear options from our listening audience here, which is important because you never know. Everybody has an angle, and every individual thinks about these things in a different way, no matter what side of the arena you support. And I would like to hear all your opinions, regardless of who you agree with or who you do not agree with. So don't be shy to raise your hand and voice your opinion. One of the amazing things that I have paid attention to in reading some of the news media networks, specifically some of the newspapers, is that the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, are actually calling houses in the Gaza Strip and warning the people to get out of those houses before they bomb them. I honestly have never seen I've never seen something like this happen before. I really haven't. I don't recall in World War II such an occurrence where when a blitz bomb was about to occur on Nazi Germany, that we would call them and say, get out of your houses, we're going to bomb them. Never heard that happen before. Never heard it happen in other conflicts in the world. But it does seem that the Israeli Defense Forces are taking, I should put it, extreme steps as to try to keep innocent civilians out of the way. Now, of course, it's not entirely possible to do that. It's not 100%. It's probably not even 50%. but it is an effort that is worth mentioning here, as is the effort that the IDF and the Israeli government are doing by calling cell phones of people, telling them to stay out of certain locations because they're about to get bombed. Another effort made by the IDF to try to keep innocent civilians out of harm's way. Of course, that is not entirely possible either, because the Hamas does use civilian areas for the most part for the launching of their rockets. There have been a couple of other interesting items in the news with regards to the Gaza Strip. Let's see here. Hamas leader Meshal. Well, Meshal is the ousted Hamas leader who is currently residing in Syria. Has said, we're ready to resist any Israeli ground invasion. We're confident we will achieve victory. Palestinian official said, Egypt in talks with Hamas on restoring Gaza calm. Well, I don't know where that's going, but yeah, I guess one could say that there might be some light at the end of the tunnel. Then we have Grad rocket fired from Gaza strikes Ashkelon home. There was a direct hit on an Ashkelon home, which is one of the southern cities in the southern part of Israel. And there was a direct hit there. I don't believe anybody was hurt there. Also, the Israeli Air Force struck more than 30 Hamas targets in Gaza since yesterday. It seems that, about 8 people were killed there. And another interesting thing, Palestinian police in the West Bank have banned pro-Hamas rallies. It is interesting that the head of the PLO, Mahmoud Abbas, not that he's cooperating with the Israeli government, but it does seem that he wishes to stay out of the conflict and is trying to keep his political arena out of the conflict as much as he can, although there were certain circles in the PLO that have said openly that they want to join in the fight, go to the Gaza Strip and fight Israel. And